Tonight, many of America's farmers already feeling the pinch are worried about the possibility of more challenges.
Just like the seafood industry, PEI potato growers want an end to this too. And they hope that pressure from American farmers will turn the tide on tariffs.
Ottawa imposed an export ban on potatoes from the island to the U.S. That was back in November due to the unsightly but harmless.
A simple crop, a bigger power game. On the surface, it sounds almost trivial. Potatoes. But in geopolitics, nothing is ever just about potatoes. When reports surfaced that former US President Donald Trump pushed for expanded access to Canadian potato markets, and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney refused, it wasn't about agriculture alone. It was about leverage, it was about trade pressure, and it was about sovereignty in an era where even food can become a bargaining chip. This is red tape and power. Why potatoes matter more than you think. Canada is one of the world's largest potato exporters. Prince Edward Island alone supplies vast quantities to global markets. The United States is both a major trading partner and competitor. Under normal circumstances, agricultural trade flows between the two countries are governed by agreements under frameworks like United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, the successor to NAFTA. But agriculture has always been politically sensitive. Food security isn't just economic, it's strategic. Control over supply chains means control over inflation, food prices, and rural political support. So when Washington seeks expanded agricultural access, it isn't simply commerce. It's domestic politics meeting international negotiation. The Trump Trade Doctrine. During his presidency, Donald Trump reshaped US trade policy around one principle: leverage first, agreements second. From steel tariffs to renegotiated trade deals, his administration frequently used economic pressure to extract concessions. Agriculture became a core bargaining tool, both to protect American farmers and to pressure trading partners. In this context, increased access to Canadian agricultural goods, including potatoes, would not just affect grocery shelves. It would impact American farmers in Idaho, Washington State, and North Dakota, politically significant agricultural regions. Trade policy under Trump often blurred the line between economic calculation and political signaling, and Canada, as America's largest trading partner, was never outside that orbit. Carney's response: drawing a line. Prime Minister Mark Carney, known internationally for his background in central banking and economic governance, has positioned himself as a defender of Canadian economic autonomy. Refusing expanded agricultural concessions, particularly in politically sensitive sectors, sends a message: Canada will trade, but not under pressure. For Ottawa, protecting domestic agricultural producers isn't just about economics. It's about rural livelihoods, provincial stability, and national leverage in future negotiations. In modern trade diplomacy, every concession sets precedent. Carney's decision to shut the door, as some headlines framed it, wasn't a dramatic confrontation. It was a calibrated move. The bigger strategic picture. Why does this matter beyond potatoes? Because North American trade isn't operating in isolation. The US faces supply chain vulnerabilities exposed during global crises. Canada is balancing its economic dependence on US markets with efforts to diversify globally. And both nations are navigating inflation pressures and domestic political polarization. Agricultural trade can become symbolic. A tariff here, a market restriction there, a delayed inspection regime. Small policy tools, but powerful signals. When leaders publicly draw lines over agricultural access, it reveals deeper tensions about economic sovereignty, market dependency, political leverage, and electoral strategy. Domestic politics on both sides. For Trump, protecting American farmers is politically potent. Rural states often form a core electoral base. For Carney, appearing firm against external pressure reinforces an image of economic stability and independence, particularly valuable in a country that has historically navigated asymmetrical power dynamics with its southern neighbor. In short, this wasn't just about potatoes, it was about optics, strength at home, signal abroad. What happens next? Trade disputes between the US and Canada rarely explode dramatically. They simmer. Negotiations move behind closed doors. Industry groups lobby quietly. Provincial governments push for compromise. under frameworks like the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, dispute resolution mechanisms exist to prevent escalation. But politics doesn't always wait for arbitration panels. As election cycles intensify in both countries, even agricultural trade can become headline material. In geopolitics, power doesn't always look like tanks or fighter jets. Sometimes it looks like a crop shipment, a tariff adjustment, a closed negotiation room. The question isn't whether potatoes matter. The question is what they represent. Economic leverage, political signaling, or a recalibration of North America's most important trade relationship. Because in modern politics, even the smallest commodities can carry the weight of sovereignty. If you want sharp, structured breakdowns of the policies shaping North America and beyond, subscribe to Red Tape and Power, where policy meets power.